Alrighty, guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory episode, or update 8 rather, with Lone Debater 7. And today we are gonna be building out our reinforced iron plate build. I think we're gonna shoot for 10 per minute to be made, and we're gonna store them in some boxes. Since last time, I have done a little bit off camera just to kind of speed things along for us and not bore you guys. So I got our limestone set up. I've got a pure node here that's making us concrete, um, just so we can build a little bit easier. We haven't spooled up too much of it. It still takes a while. I also got copper, iron, and limestone over here. These are all pure nodes, so 120 per second being mined and filling up these boxes. That way I have the ability to build those nodes when I want to, more or less. I mean, it does take quite a while to buffer 2,000 ore of whatever type. Um, so yeah, we can build a pure node, and then it takes, I don't know, maybe like 10-ish minutes, maybe a little longer, to buffer up another 2,000 so we can build another. I also went ahead and rearranged all of our production. So we now have this little build over here. Not terrible. I mean, it looks okay. So I'm using the two starting iron nodes that we had to convert into two constructors, making 40 total of 40 iron plates per minute that are going into this box. The remaining 60 iron ore is being converted into iron rods. So I'm getting 30 iron rods per minute into this box, and the remaining 30 rods are coming out here and being split into three constructors, making us screws. So we're actually doing 120 screws per second or per minute on this line into this box. On this end, we've got our copper. So I just have a normal copper node for this because we don't need a whole lot of this starting copper material. So this is doing 60 a minute of copper ingot. That is being turned into a total of 120 copper wire a minute. And that wire is being split. So we have 60 copper wire a minute going into this box for us, and another 60 wire a minute going into this constructor to make us 30 cable a minute. This just gives us access to all of the resources we had unlocked, and it's organized much better. We've got it stored in these boxes in a line, so I can easily come up and grab what I need quickly. Everything's to ratio over here as well, so I went ahead and took care of that off camera, but I thought I'd share it with you. I've obviously expanded the platform quite a bit. Well, we didn't have a platform last time, but I've got a decent amount of platform now to build with. You probably see that we have the objective to build a space elevator. I did actually construct the space elevator briefly, because when I was looking in here, I didn't realize there was a scroll bar on tier 2 to get logistics 2, because I needed to get Mark 2 conveyor belt, so I went ahead and unlocked that, but we do have access to tier 3 and tier 4 research at this point. When we rebuild the elevator, it's basically going to have us get our tier 5 and tier 6 unlocked. Just a second here. My C key seems to be doing something weird. What's going on with my crouch? Crouch is C. Oh, why is it saying that I got alt pressed? Okay, that's fine. There we go. I do like having my my slide jumpies right here. It helps moving around and all of that good stuff. I did go out and find a hard drive as well. I got this one that's up on this rock right here. It's actually pretty easy. There's no one to fight. Just to see if we could get lucky on a recipe. We did actually get lucky, and we got the bolted iron plate recipe. Now, I would utilize this, but if we take a look at this, really this doesn't save us on resource costs compared to the default, but it does save us on power. We get 15 from one machine instead of just 5, so it's 3 times power savings, basically, is what we're getting. But it does require 250 screws a minute as an input, so we're not going to be able to feed that recipe until we get Logistics Mark 3 or Logistics 3 with Mark 3 conveyor belts. So we're just going to leave that be for now. I think for the starting build, what we'll end up doing is we will just set up 2 of the default recipe in assemblers and kind of just go from there. This build might be kind of big, so I kind of want to map out where I want the resources to get stored. I kind of like the idea of having a 2-wide walkway along the middle here. So I think we will try to target our box for right here. This is where I want my reinforced iron plate to go. So if we kind of work backwards, we're ultimately going to have 2 of these assemblers constructing this. So we'll put 1 and we'll put 2, kind of like that. That's reasonably lined up. Wait, does this fits inside of 1? Why doesn't this one? Can I not fit this right next door? No, it does require a gap. That is frustrating. Okay, well, I guess that's fine. It's not going to be perfectly aligned. I could perfectly align it if I move it over 1 tile, I suppose. So maybe we'll just go ahead and do that. I don't know. If I'm going to take the time to put a build together, I kind of like having things, looking good, if that makes sense. These are not likely to be ripped down at any point. I think I will just use the little bit of resource we're going to trickle through from here and store it straight in. So let's go ahead and get our merger connected to both of these assemblers. And the trick on this, if you want perfect bends, you get it to snap, go back 2 points, build, and then when you come across, you'll get a perfect 90 degree turn. So that's how you do that, in case you are unaware. So I'm going to set these to the reinforced iron plate. Just the default recipe takes 30 iron plates per minute and 60 screws a minute for each machine. So realistically, we're looking at a total of 60 iron plates a minute and 120 screws per minute in order to feed this design. We definitely can do that. We've got the tier 2 conveyor belts, or the Mark II, whatever they want to call themselves. Just going to snap that across. Sure, that works. And then I can bring a power pole back here that we'll use to continue on the build. So basically, I need to get screws in here, and I need to get iron plates in here. The iron plates are going to be, well, realistically, they both are going to be pretty simple. I think kind of what I am looking at trying to do here, I think I want the input to be coming from this direction because that's likely where all the constructors are going to go. So we'll put this as 1. Yeah, that's in line. 1, 2. Boom. And then what we'll do for the second one is we'll just bring it out a little bit. Like that. Same direction. And we'll just run these belts through each other. I know this isn't very realistic, having the belts snap through or soft clip through each other, but you know what? It is what it is. I could do something a little fancier with the elevated conveyor lines and all that, but I'm not too concerned about it. This works. It's going to take up a lot less space and be a little bit easier to pull off. What I could do instead is actually put this splitter on top of this one and then have one belt come out into here and then have a second one come out along that way. I'm not worried about it. So basically what we're looking at is we are going to have one line. Why do you want to go that way? Weird. So we're going to have one line come in right here. The other line okay. If it wants to snap to something, that's fine. And then the other line feed in here. So cool. We've got our snap points set up. So one of these will be plates, one of these will be screws. Doesn't really matter which is which. As far as the iron is concerned, I believe I can do this with a single pure iron node. So if you aren't playing with buildable resource nodes, if you find a pure iron node, which I did find one just over yonder, so if you're playing in Dune Desert Start, there is a pure iron node over in this direction that you could utilize to do this build. It should support this. So let's take a look and see what we need to do next. In order to get our 60 iron plates, what we are looking at for that is actually a total of 3 constructors. So I just want to make sure I center this inside the box. Yeah, I kind of like it like that. So 1, 2, 3. 3 constructors for plates, and actually we're going to have 3 constructors for screws. So we'll just plonk those down. Why not? Easy enough. So screw, a screw, and a screw. Cool. And this is going to be an iron plate, and an iron plate. And I think for this, I am just going to put 2 onto each pole. I know technically I could do 3 and 3 and kind of just plug it in, but I think I like this approach a little bit better because then we can link all of our constructors right here together. We are going to have a second line of constructors that need to feed into our screw constructors that are building rods, so we just need to bear that in mind. If I take this, I can actually put that in right there, so cool. These are all powered. How are we looking on power, by the way? I don't know if we have enough power to support all this. Yeah, we probably don't at our trough, which is unfortunate. I should really go up and add in some more wind turbines. I suppose I could build some more biomass burners. We aren't really burning any biomass. And I do have the research available, or the milestones available in the hub to go ahead and get coal power kind of rolling. That's fine. We'll take a look at that in a minute after we kind of get the rest of this set up. So in order to do this next bit, basically what I need is 2 constructors making iron rods in order to feed these 3 that are doing our screws, right? So before I do that, I kind of like, just so I can ensure that I get good designs, meaning they are aesthetically pleasing, built out, I like to place this logistics part first, meaning the splitter that's going to feed the rods into the screw constructors. So we're going to do this. Okay, so that's ready. Now I can take a merger. If you have a splitter selected and push the E key by default, it'll change it to a merger. And if you have a merger selected and push the E key, it'll change it to a splitter, just in case you weren't aware of that. Now for this, I want to have a merger right here. That merger is just going to simply go like that. Fantastic. We've now got these figured out. Now, I just need to build constructors to make iron rods that will then feed into this. I also need to figure out the smelters. So this is going to take 3 smelters. This whole build will only take 1. So I think we have enough room here, actually. So maybe what we're going to do, just to kind of conserve space a little bit, I'm going to throw one of the rod constructors in right here. Iron rods, cool. Put this guy, sure, we can flip it there. Plug this one in. Then, really, I could just do both of them right here. That could work. Or alternatively, I could do something like this. I don't know where I want to put the node. I guess I do have room out this way, so I could put it like this. We're going to put it like this, and honestly, it'll make the logistics for feeding the iron in easier if these are side by side. So we will go ahead and put them side by side. Go ahead, get this plugged in to our merger. Boom, and boom. Plug you to there, and you to there. And we are going to... Yeah, that's our power going down. Okay, not great. Not great at all, but we'll go deal with that in a minute. I want to finish putting this thing together. I think we are actually going to need a little bit more room out back in order to pull this off, and that's just fine. We'll go ahead and do this, mainly because I still have to fit 4 smelters in here. Now, granted, I could probably squeeze them in right here, and then just have one like right here that feeds straight into these 2. And actually, maybe we'll do that. Kind of keep things compact, sort of. It's not super compact, but it's okay, right? So there's that. We'll take this one. Plug you into there. Cool. So that's ready for that. I do need another splitter to feed these guys. And these are going to require 90. So honestly, what's going to happen here is I'm going to need a merger to merge 3 inputs together. This needs to be a Mark II belt right here. Mark 1's off the splitter. The reason for that is a Mark 1 belt can only transport 60 items per minute, whereas a Mark 2 belt can do 120. So if I want to put 90 items through this splitter's input, I need to use a Mark 2 belt to accomplish that. Basically, we're going to feed 3 smelters into this line in order to get our 90 a minute. So I could... That just doesn't... We don't quite have enough width right there, which is unfortunate. So I think I will place one of the smelters like right here to feed straight into this box is what we're going to do. So that's easy enough. Iron. And plug you. Where did I put that hole? Right there. Cool. I am going to need a second one, so I'll just plunk that down now so it's available and ready. Then for the remaining 3, I'd like to have them like right here, if at all possible. So I could do 1, 2, and 3, and then feed it. Or I could do something a little bit different with our design, so I could go something like 1, and then 2 and 3 right here. It just makes pushing the... Let's see how this looks. I don't know. We'll give it a shout or a try, right? See how she looks. So basically this one, I'd like to bring in this side. So like this one would go in there. This one, I could do a weird curvy belt like that. That actually wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. What happens if I click it down? Yeah, it won't actually do it if I click it down. So I guess this is allowed. The other thing I could do is bring it to... So this is like 1 back is in line, 2 is right here. I think if I grab this... no, it needed to be back just slightly further. There is a way to get like a U shape, a perfect U. I don't remember exactly how you force that. I don't know if you can force that, honestly. So if I bring you out, so this is like the center, 1, 2, something like that. It does need to like turn more than that though, is the thing. So you know what? I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna spaghetti that bit, and then we can bring this one out like this around. Doesn't actually need to make that bend right there. This is a little bit cumbersome. I apologize. I understand. Probably doesn't matter all that much. I could just snap the belt in and it'd be good to go. But I do want to attempt something like that. Yeah, I actually like that. That's fine. The belts aren't even like overlapping. That is perfect. Okay, awesome. So this should work. Set all those to iron ingots. Now, what we need to do is plug them into this power pole. 1, 2. Do I have an available right there? I do. Great. I'm going to push this back there because I need that for our... Is it this one that's not plugged in? It's that one that's not plugged in. We need this for our miner, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 that need to be fed from a single pure node. I need to go get the 2000 iron and throw it in my inventory. How many slots? I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I need to drop off some stuff in order to actually fit the materials we need. What I could do instead... What I could do is go to organization, build a personal box, and throw some stuff in here. So don't really need these right this second. That's probably enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We need to save one more space. So there's one more space. We do need at least one of our handheld miners available to us in order to place the miner down. So this is copper. I have my iron actually right here. Cool. Iron ore. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Cool. Empty the box, basically. We have a few left over, but it will take... A, we have to fix our power problem, and B, it will take quite a bit of time for that to actually regenerate. So, what I could do here is place this like there, and then if I go production and pick a miner, that is outputting this direction, right? Plug this in, sure. Now, what I want to do here is actually run 2 splitters. So I want to have a splitter right here. Okay? This splitter is then going to feed into 2 more splitters. Now, how would I like to get that done? Honestly, it might make sense to move this smelter over, and I think I'm going to do that real quick. So we just have to move this stuff. I know, it's unfortunate, but it's okay. Actually, I didn't really need to do that, but that's fine. Split. I want the split happening from this direction instead. I think that's going to work out a little bit better for what I have planned. But anyway, what was I saying? I was saying we needed 2 splitters. The reason for that is these are going to do exactly a 50-50 split. If I do 3 of them, it'll give me 40 on each line, which is not what I want. What I really want is 30 on each line. If I take 120 divided by 2, I get 60, and 60. If I take that 60 and divide it again, I get 30. So this will go to 60, this will go to 30, and then this one will also be 30. We'll just line it up like so. Actually, kind of want it right there. So let's go ahead and connect these, make sure that these 2 guys will connect. They will. Fantastic. Boom, boom. Then our other one is going to go like that. This guy is going to go like that. Now, I do need to replace our other smelter. The input's right there. So... honestly, what I'll do is just kind of line it up like this. Doesn't matter now. This belt's going to be a little bit longer than it really needs to be, but that's okay. I am not too worried about it. Does that make a good U? Yeah, there we go. So if you get this belt to end in line with the input that you're trying to feed, it will make a perfect U going across. So there we go. We got that done. I do need to reconnect this to power. Boom. There we go. Now this one still needs this smelter connected, and then we should be rocking and rolling. All we'll have to do is merge the outputs of these constructors together and then feed them into those splitters. So pretty easy, pretty easy. We're going to take a merger, and I think for this, I am actually going to use 2 mergers. The merge is not as critical because it's not done at ratio. It just takes whatever you have and fills your belt up to capacity. So these 2 together will give us a total of 80 screws. So this belt here actually needs to be a Mark II. This belt can still be a Mark I feeding in because it's only 40 coming out. Then this belt needs to be a Mark II all the way in. So I need to go make a few more reinforced iron plates. Unfortunate. We still need to do the same thing with this bad mama. I'm not going to be able to stick this perfect in line, which is unfortunate. But... oh, how do I want to do this? Ooh, that's going to look bad, I think. Maybe if I bring these out a little further... actually, I don't need one there. Need it in the next one. Yeah, we'll just bring it out a little bit. Sure. We got plenty of room, right? Then I can go something like this. That was not right. In line. 1. 1, 2. So, there we go. These are only going to have a total of 60 by the time it outputs, so I'm less concerned with this belt. Now, what I can do here is just run it. So that's perfect. 1, 2. Feed that straight in. Boom. There we go. Now this guy. Each of these is taking how much? 60 per minute. So these can both be tier 1s. I just need a tier 2 to feed this in, and then we basically have the build done. So let me go... Actually, since we built the resource node, let me go pick up my items, which I should have plenty of room to pick all this stuff up, so I can just dismantle the box. And let's go build a few more reinforced iron plate. These should be the last ones we have to make by hand, unless we're trying to push for something. So it's fine. I believe we needed a total of 18, but we're just going to make like a total of 25, just to be on the safe side. I don't want to have too few in order to do what we need to do. And that would be frustrating to have to run all the way back over here again to make like 2 or 3 iron plate, right? Or reinforced iron plate, I guess. So we're just going to stop at 25. Should be good to go. That is some Gucci Go main right there. Let's go. Slide, jump in, all the way back over to our fancy build, Mark II, and slam that guy in there. Look at this. So we now have this all built out. What we need to look at next is actually having enough power to supply all of this. So if I go over to my power pole right now, our max consumption is 193. Our max production when we're running... So this is without our windmills on, right? Or is this our actual max production right now? So we need to add quite a few windmills. Okay, so I need some more iron plate. We'll grab like 400 more. I will also grab another couple hundred rods. I think I have enough cable. I guess let's just grab an extra 200. Just to be safe. 400 is definitely more than enough. And then I am going to pick up some concrete, and we're going to go up our little rampy ramp and expand out our power. Yeah. Unfortunate that it's so far up in the sky, but I think 1,000 concrete will be enough. That should be sufficient to build, I don't know, maybe like 20 or 30 more. Not that we necessarily need to do that, but if we expand out... So I want to expand out this side at least 10 more blocks so it's even with this side. Then I think what I'm going to do is go 10 blocks forward, meaning like the direction I'm running right now. I'm going to do 10 blocks in that direction and then start working my way back across. So if I go one more to the left, in addition to the 4 we have, that will give us 11 total at the max efficiency that we can reach. And then basically we'll just do lines of 11. So we'll probably end up adding another 12 total, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, that's the plan. So we're just going to have to run over here. It takes a little bit of time, but you know what? It's all right. This is free power, so, you know, can't complain too much. Like I said, I generally have to, or like I said in the last episode, not this episode, so sorry. If you haven't seen the last episode, you should go check it out. It should be up on the channel. We kind of take a look at a few things, make some milestones, yada yada. Also, take this time to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't yet. I do plan on uploading quite a bit more Satisfactory. I also play other factory builder games, so if you like Satisfactory, it's likely you will enjoy some of the other content on my channel. So there we go. We've got this guy plugged in. Now what we're going to do is go out 10 in this direction and plug in the next one back here. And I'm then going to work my way back across to the right, I think. And we'll ultimately end up connecting these platforms together. So once we hit the middle again, we'll build a row of 10 foundation to connect into the staircase. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, just to make running back and forth slightly easier. Ooh, we've got an issue there. Did that not build a full 10? This didn't build a full 10. Darn it. That is unfortunate. Just break those. How many did this build? I thought it said 10. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's 10. What the heck? Do I have to go 11? Probably has to be 11. Let's just throw one more down and see if that fixes our issue. Oh, those might not have been red because they're colliding. Actually, let me check that because I don't need to make this bigger than it needs to be. That's probably just red because our power grid's off. Yeah, okay, those were fine, actually. I apologize, guys. That was dumb. Waste some time, why don't you? Uh, sorry about that. I saw the little red light and got worried that these were decreasing, were like too close together or whatever. That's the one downside of wind turbines is they do have to be pretty far apart. I find if you go 10 foundations in between, you are good to go. I don't know what the actual minimum is. It's probably like 8 or some weird number like that, but the farthest you can zoom is 10, so I find it a little bit easier to just build 10. I know that 10 works, and I don't have to worry about it. I can just zoop out the max distance, place down my turbine, and go about my day. Let's just get a little closer. Cool. Do that. And I think ultimately what's going to end up happening is this is going to be like a zigzag pattern off of this side of turbines. It's going to like loop around, go all the way down, loop back, etc., as we need more of these. Eventually, I do plan on switching over to refined power, coal generated power. It's just so much better. Like, it's really good. I like it so much better than the base coal power that you get access to in Satisfactory. So that's what we're going to look at. Once we get geothermal power available to us, we might take a look. Let's just connect these so we can do this. And I just want to double check these are not too close, right? Nope, they are good to go. So if I was to turn this bad mama on, what would happen? Let's go ahead and finish placing what we can place, and then we'll mess with that. Hopefully it'll be enough. It probably will. I don't know. We're effectively doubling, or a little bit more than doubling our power from these wind turbines, so that should, in theory, raise up our trough oscillation power gen, or like power capacity. So the issue is not that we're not making enough power. When these guys are spinning at full speed, we are making more than enough power to run everything. The problem is the wind speed does change in this game, and that I believe that is added by refined power is what does that. I don't know. So you can end up having you get this oscillation in the power generation from wind turbines. And since I don't have accumulators yet, I do have the milestone available. I just haven't unlocked it yet. There's no way for me to smooth this out in order to average the power better. So we're kind of stuck. We need to make sure our actual power usage is never greater than our lowest power production. So whenever I call that trough state because you have a peak and a trough on a wave oscillation. So yeah, that's where I'm getting that term from. So here we go. We got our 12 turbines placed. Let's just go ahead and see if that is going to be enough for us. Now this guy could connect to something as well, so whatever. We can always push this line out further if we want. We could also build this direction forward if we wanted to expand in the direction of our ramp, and that could be an option for us too. But this is 22 wind turbines up at max efficiency, and then we have another 4 turbines on the way down. So we will have a total of 26 now, going up from what would that be, 14? So let's just try flipping this fuse and see what happens. Hopefully we are good to go. So boom, turn on the power. Look at that jump, fantastic. Now we are close to peak state right here. So I kind of want to wait and see what happens when the wind speed decreases and just make sure. So our wind speed's actually only 44%, so not super high at the moment, if I'm honest, but our consumption is about 131 megawatts. The max consumption is only if every single thing is running at the same time. So when you first try to turn on a power network or you add a machine, you're looking at this max consumption number, right? This guy. When the system is actually after it's started, you're really only looking at the consumption. That's the number that you care about. So our consumption is quite a bit lower than our capacity when we're at peak, right? This is how much we could support. Our production is how much we're currently making. So if your production is greater than your consumption, your power network won't trip. Now, you can, I believe, dip a little bit below your max consumption, but it's better to have your production bigger than this max consumption number. So if we look here, yeah, our production is still slightly less than our max consumption, which is not ideal. We probably need to add just a little bit more to our power network. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think I have well, honestly, I probably don't have enough iron plate to do that. Darn it. Okay, well, we need to go get resources. I'm just going to bear that in mind. If I want to expand and build more stuff, I need to come back up here and build out more wind turbines or figure out something else with power. I mean, the other way I could deal with that is just build some more biomass burners down at our base. So what is also cool about having this giant ramp, you can see for so far. Like, the render distance in this game is crazy, in my opinion. Like, that is way far away. That's probably like 500-600 meters away from us right now, but we can see it just fine, no problem. I'm not complaining about that either. I think it's great. That's how I was able to spot this hard drive location. There is another hard drive location over in this swamp. I think it's right behind this big tree, or like on that little island that's behind it. So we could try to get that. I kind of want to wait to scan my next hard drive until I have steel unlocked, just because there is a alternate recipe for steel production in the foundry that is significantly better than the one that you get access to. I believe it takes iron ore instead of iron ingot is the difference, or vice versa. It's something like that, but the ratio becomes so much better on resources. You can, instead of being able to get like 2 foundries worth of steel produced from a pure iron node, you can get like 3. So it is quite worth it. But from this level, you can kind of see this build quite nicely. You can see this guy going as well. So we've got our iron plates slowly churning in. Why are our screws not being built? Is that just because the iron rods aren't buffered? Did I break those constructors and not reset the recipe? That could very well be the case. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm willing to take one fall damage for that. Save us a little time. Let's go over here. Yep, forgot to turn these on with iron rods as a recipe, so we're not building reinforced plates yet. But now we should be in like a minute or two. This will finally get it some screws into these assemblers, and we will be rocking and rolling. So this has been running for about a minute, right? Because we've got 30 plates inside of this assembler, and we have the same amount in the other. So that means we have had a minute's worth of production because we're making 60 iron plates per minute. So cool. That is set up. I think what I will do right now, just so we don't have the problem of everything turning off on us, is I will build another biomass burner right here. We'll just... where can I plug this in at? There is space on this line. I think I will just soft clip this into its own pole and plug it in. And we can top off all the burners at the same time. I've got plenty of biomass, so I'm not too concerned about it. I just want to make sure that we have enough capacity to keep our system running when we're not generating the maximum from our wind turbines. Like, the reason why these have had the same 200 biomass since we last refilled them in the episode, and I've played for probably, well, if we look at the play duration, it's 4.5 hours. We ended that last episode at just under 2. So we've burned like 30 biomass, 40 biomass in the past 2 hours of game time. right, of playtime on this game. Hopefully that made sense. So we are not burning our biomass very fast. So adding an additional one just to increase this lower bit above our max consumption. See, so now we're sitting at 241 instead, which is greater than 217. So our lowest it's ever going to be is like 241 is what it looks like. The max it'll ever be is probably around like 600, somewhere in that neighborhood, megawatts. So we actually have quite a bit of power generation from these windmills. If I go in and prioritize, it's under tier 3, and go for, where is this? Where do we get that? Is it coal power? It's not coal power, right? This is the new refined power stuff, so we can look at that in the next one maybe. But expanded power infrastructure, tier 4. This is the guy we're looking for. I do need to get steel beams set up before I can make this, and modular frame. Modular frame is pretty easy. We could do that now, in theory, right? We've got reinforced iron plate set up. We also have iron rod set up, so we could build something to make us some modular frames right now. But I still need to get basic steel production, this research, in order to make the steel beams to get this guy unlocked. And this guy unlocked, sorry. Which, that's just to unlock the ability to build a power storage. I believe a power storage actually requires stators, so we also need advanced steel production. So we have like 3 or 4 researches before we're going to be able to smooth out the power generation curve for ourselves. And that's all right. You know, not a big deal. I knew when we started using wind turbines that was going to be the trade-off. You might have to throw some, some biomass burners down as well, just to make things happy and keep running. But I kind of want to push into modular power generation. This is why I have refined power installed, is because of the modular power. It is really, really cool. We will definitely make an episode about how to set up ratio on a coal-driven modular power setup. These are great. A level 1 generator with a Mark 1 turbine generates 150 megawatts of power, right? If I look at just basic coal power, the coal generator is going to do... Oh, it doesn't actually tell you. That's annoying. It requires more coal, it requires more water, and I think it only does 75 for each one of these, right? So you get double the power from doing this. Now, it is quite a bit more expensive to set this up. You've got boilers, so you have to boil the water, then you have to convert the power, and then you also have to cool steam and vent CO2. So it is a pretty involved process. We'll take a look at that next time, and we have to get carbon refining before we can get into this, because that is required for this guy right here, which the whole system won't run if you don't have a CO2 chimney. That's just the way it is. We'll take a look at that later. I could get refined power Mark II once we get steel, because we need beams and rod and pipe. It's not rods, it's pipe. And that would unlock water turbines, which are pretty good. So there's specific nodes inside of the map where you can place these, and they're either 8, 20, or 50 megawatts, depending on where it is. So we have that waterfall over there. Those are probably 50 megawatt generation nodes that are on that. It's going to be on water. It's either river or waterfalls is where you're going to find those nodes, so we could build some of those potentially. We do have solar panels. I don't really like the idea of using solar panels. They only generate 8 megawatts during the day as well, so we still have that same problem where we need to get our expanded power infrastructure. So this, like, going solar doesn't really fix anything for us. We also have to set up a build to make photovoltaic cells as well, which I think require carbon refining or quartz, which we don't have quartz yet either. So yeah, this refined power is great. It is quite expensive to get going. Once you have it going, though, it is phenomenal. But guys, I think we are going to wrap it up here for today. We're just going to check. We've made 36 total reinforced iron plates while I was talking there. So our build is set up. We are making 10 reinforced iron plates per minute with this build. It's only using a total of 120 iron ore per minute in order to do this. If I go... Actually, is this not... this is not a tier 3. I actually need to upgrade, or a tier 2 rather. This needs to be a tier 2 belt in order to actually run the smelters the way they need to run. So we will fix that. I'm glad I caught that. That will lower your efficiency slightly. Well, it should have it actually, but okay, that's fixed. No worries, no worries. We're good. We got it built. So you could build this whole thing, make 10 reinforced iron plates per minute with a single pure iron node, and then all of this infrastructure. I did kind of want to take a look and see how much power this whole thing takes. So if I break this power line here, it's going to turn off just these machines. That's all that's connected on this network. The consumption is a max of 83 megawatts. So for 83 megawatts, we are making 10 reinforced iron plates a minute. So a little expensive as far as power usage is concerned, but we remedied that with our wind turbines and an additional biomass burner over there. Ooh, did we though? Lol. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess we need another biomass. That's fine. We'll throw down another biomass burner. Not the end of the world. We'll just do that real quick, and that will fix it. Of course, since I was talking about how we remedied our power problem, it immediately shuts off, right? Typical. But there we have it, guys. We have our system running, making us reinforced iron plates. That's great. I think what we're going to try to do next time is take a look at building a production chain using the assembler again. But this time, I want to try to automate rotor production. This is screws and iron rods for 4 rotors. So we'll maybe shoot for, I don't know, it'd be ideal probably. I don't know what the ratio is going to look like. It's either going to be 8 or 12 total. We'll at least be running 2 assemblers, if not 3, to build our rotors, just because we need those as well. You use reinforced iron plates and rotors for quite a few things. You need them to build stuff, actually. You need rotors and reinforced iron plates to build the assemblers. So I want to have those automated because I want to be able to build all the production buildings utilizing automated resources, right? So we're definitely going to prioritize setting that up. But yeah, if you enjoyed the episode today, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always. And until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see ya!